The movie begins by introducing a good-looking man named Rocky. Despite his difficult past with his late wife, he tries hard to deal with life's challenges. He focuses on running his own pawn shop. On the other hand, the story also introduces a young girl named Naomi, who lives near Rocky's apartment. Because her mother doesn't show her much love, Naomi behaves badly. She often sells stolen things, which makes Rocky feel sorry for her. Naomi, treated like a child, struggles because of her mother's actions. Anna, Naomi's mom, is a widow who works as a dancer in a nightclub. She leads an unusual life and gets involved in illegal activities like stealing and pawning things to support her drug addiction. This bad behavior affects Naomi's mental health, so she turns to Rocky for comfort because she thinks he's the only one who understands her situation. Rocky deals with his wife's death by regularly visiting her grave. Meanwhile, Naomi gets caught by the police for stealing from a classmate. Even though Rocky warned Naomi against stealing before, he doesn't interfere, which disappoints and saddens her because she expected his support. Feeling desperate, Naomi comes home with a stolen MP3 player, planning to trade it for a toy card. But when she arrives, she finds her mother being harassed by two criminals. On the other hand, Rocky realizes his mistake too late and quickly chases after them. Unfortunately, his efforts are in vain, and he can only hear Naomi's cries as she's taken away. The scene then showing a flashback, when a police captain from the crime unit investigates a gang involved in selling drugs and trading human organs, led by a man named Montu. At that time, Montu gives authority to one of his followers, Kevin, who also manages the nightclub where Anna works. Kevin organizes the kidnappings as part of their criminal operations. That night, the police captain and his team are at the nightclub, acting on information that Montu's courier will do a big drug deal. With a bag of money is supposed to be delivered by one of the nightclub waiters. But unexpectedly, Anna hits the waiter from behind, taking all the money as instructed by her secret boyfriend, who is a member of Kevin's gang. The delivery person is immediately confused by the situation. Even though he thinks about canceling the plan, the relentless chase by the police forces him to continue, resulting in a capture marked by resistance. Meanwhile, Kevin becomes more and more frustrated with being blamed for the chaos, especially as Montu threatens severe consequences if the situation isn't resolved quickly. Feeling pressured, Kevin comes up with a plan to kidnap Anna and Naomi. Back in the present, Rocky is filled with regret after Naomi's departure. Meanwhile, the three mastermind, including Kevin's brother, Luke. Following a suggestion from his friend, Attila, Luke quickly contacts Rocky. In return for Naomi's safety, Rocky agrees to deliver a package of drugs to Montu. Not long after, Rocky goes to Montu's base expecting to hand over Naomi as Kevin promised. However, Montu denies knowing where Naomi is when he gets the package, leaving Rocky confused. Meanwhile, Kevin calls the police, intending to manipulate Rocky and express his anger towards Montu, who he thinks has underestimated him. During the shootout between the police and Montu's gang, Rocky sees a chance to chase after Montu, who tries to escape. Surprisingly, Montu crashes into the back of Rocky's car, revealing Anna's dead body in the trunk. From the several wound stitches on her body, it can be concluded that Kevin and Luke have taken all of Anna's vital organs. After that, Rocky is taken by the police for questioning, but he's only concerned about Naomi's safety. Putting her above everything else, Rocky decides to fight back, even with the police around. After closely examining the CCTV footage of the incident, the captain becomes interested in Rocky's real identity. It's later revealed that Rocky is actually Kebur Alawat, a secret military operative known for his toughness and high success rate in missions. Shortly after, Anna's boyfriend and Montu are captured by the authorities after all of his assets were taken by the police. Even though Montu loses everything and becomes an ordinary citizen again, Kevin doesn't hesitate to get rid of them separately. On the other hand, at a warehouse made to look like an orphanage run by a woman named Carla, where Naomi is shown crying and calling for her mother, unaware of her tragic death. Meanwhile, Rocky starts his plan by visiting someone suspected of being connected to Kevin's gang. Despite initial resistance, Rocky convinces the person to take him to the nightclub where Attila is believed to be, possibly with Kevin. Using his companion as a distraction, Rocky makes sure that the person they meet is not just an ordinary nightclub worker, but someone important, likely Kevin, who might know about Naomi's location. However, when pushed to reveal this information, Attila interferes, leading to a shootout. The arrival of the police captain stops the fight, but not before Attila shoots Rocky in the stomach. After that, Kevin and his crew leave Rocky behind, saying Kevin's boss will contact him soon. During their conversation, Kevin finally talks about Naomi's situation. Instead of calming Rocky down, this news makes him even angrier, as Kevin reveals his plan to harm Naomi for the valuable organs in her beautiful eyes. After that, Rocky chooses to rest at home while taking care of his wound, but memories of his once happy life trouble him, especially the tragic loss of his pregnant wife when attackers harmed her. Even though he survived, the damage after the accident affect his mental well-being, making it hard for him to find happiness in simple things. At the police station, the captain, relying on information from the captured accomplice, contacts Rocky about his role in the recent trouble. At that moment, Rocky explains that he was only influenced by Kevin and stresses that his main concern now is making sure Naomi is safe. Meanwhile, Attila is seen with Carla, looking after the children, including Naomi, who notices the scar on Attila's forehead. With affection, she gently puts a bandage on it, showing care similar to what she would do for her mother, whom she misses dearly. At the same time, Rocky starts to suspect the children's behavior, noticing a pattern similar to Kevin's tactics to distract the authorities. Despite this, Rocky quietly watches the children until they go back to the shelter pretending to be an orphanage. When he arrives, Rocky finds Mantu's dead body in the freezer, with his organs gruesomely taken out. Also, he discovers a girl who is about to be killed. Fortunately, he intervenes to stop the cruelty, and Rocky's anger turns toward Luke as well. After this shocking discovery, Rocky contacts a trusted friend to make sure all the children are safe and to arrest Carla, the shelter's manager. Meanwhile, it's revealed that Naomi is still alive, but in danger, as Kevin has instructed Attila to watch the officers closely and quickly remove both of Naomi's eyes. Shortly after, inside the building that heavily guarded, Kevin and his group confront Rocky, trying to distract him by showing him a tube they claim contains Naomi's eyes. But this only stirs deep anger in Rocky. As the confrontation continues, Attila dies in the fight, and Kevin's attempt to escape is stopped when his car breaks down. Even though Kevin's car is bulletproof, Rocky finds a way to defeat it. Despite his strength, Rocky feels heavy regret, especially with Naomi leaving, which he sees as his own failure and losing another loved one. Suddenly, Naomi appears before Rocky. It turns out the tube given to Rocky by Kevin didn't have Naomi's eyes, but the eyes of Kevin's own men. As Attila arranged all of this to repay Naomi's kindness sincerely. Jumping ahead to when Rocky has to go to jail, he gets supplies and writing tools for Naomi. Giving her words of advice, Rocky tells Naomi to stay good, and Naomi promises to obey him like his own daughter. It was Naomi's sincere promise that finally brings a smile to Rocky's face after a long time of sadness. Moral lesson from the story: never trust a tube labeled eyes unless you're sure it's not just a prank by a gangster. And if you're going to jail, make sure to bring enough snacks for your friends, and don't forget the pens.